Hey there, this is Valma Garns, also known as the Valminator. Today I want to share some tips that I learned about the impact of menopause on my life from when it started, from perimenopause, when you actually start to realize that you're going through menopause. Now, some people have different symptoms. Some people have it worse than others, worse or better, however you want to look at this. But I just want to talk about the impact that it's had on my life personally and the things that I did for myself and my recommendations to my clients that has helped them too. So the first thing I want to talk about, which I think is really surprising, is joint pain and stiffness. Now, you'll have pain, or at least I did, have pain in places that I didn't know I could have pain. And for me, one of the things that I would notice when I would get out of bed in the morning is the bottoms of my feet would just be killing me. And of course, the joint pain and stiffness is always the worst in the morning. And as the day goes on, it's not that bad. And the other thing that really helps to alleviate the joint pain and the stiffness is more movement. And that's not to say you don't want to be constantly be moving all the time. I essentially am, because I sort of rearranged my life to do that. But a lot of us don't want to be moving around all the time. So once you sit down for a specific amount of time, then usually when you try to go to get back up, that joint pain and stiffness is going to be recurring. And this is perfectly normal. It's just how it is. And like I said, it's mild for some people, and it might be worse for some people than it is for others. The other thing is decreased bone density. This doesn't happen for everyone if you're not careful. Like, for instance, if you don't focus on lifting heavy as opposed to focus on doing more cardio-based things or something that includes both of those things. But when you're menopausal, you're more at risk for developing osteoporosis because your estrogen levels are dropping. So it's very crucial that you do maximize your weights or your weight training. I apologize for this blurry picture. I just needed to say that. But you need to definitely focus on heavy weight training, not so much as light weight training. It's not that they can't do any much good for you, but it's best to focus on heavy weight training because what you're doing to your muscles is also going to benefit your bones too. The next thing is hormonal changes, and I think what we don't realize is that when you have hormonal changes, you are really, it's almost like you can't be responsible for the things that you have to endure. And this is for some people go through menopause for 5 years. Some people don't even go through it for that long. Some people choose to do HRT that is considered not natural way, and some people do the natural HRT. I think you're going to do is some people choose not to do HRT whatsoever, but I think it's entirely up to you to decide which path you're going to take, and you have to do a lot of research on whatever that path is going to work well for you. Or even before you choose a path, you have to decide which path is going to work well for you and your lifestyle and your values and everything else. But it's the lack of motivation that is also very affecting, and it's kind of like not your fault, but I didn't know that was part of menopause too, is the fact that you just don't have any motivation, and so you start to blame yourself, and it's sort of an endless cycle of self-blame, which is not where you want to be. So you have to be really careful with what menopause is responsible for, and especially with the hormonal changes. You already have the limited time. Most women are dealing with limited time, and so it really makes it crucial that whatever sort of time you're going to put towards exercise, that it is going to maximize your efforts. So you can certainly get in a great workout in as little as 20 minutes, maybe in as little as 15, but you have to make sure that it's well worth your effort that you're putting forth working out. Because we're already busy and we already have a lot of responsibilities, and you don't want to feel like you're letting down any part of your life, especially with lack of energy to begin with, because you're dealing with all of the hormone issues. And based on these points, here's a few solutions that I've come up with that have worked for me and have worked for my clients as well. One of the things is to have a low impact exercise program, because you don't really need to be doing anything that is high energy or too much energy, because you don't want to take away from your life and create more inflammation if you're already stressed about certain things. So you want to make sure you're doing low impact so that you keep healthy joints and you're not increasing your risk of injury, and making sure that the work that you're doing does not outweigh the reward. So you want to be careful with the types of movements that you're doing, and you also want to do a program that's going to maximize the value for the effort and the time that you're putting into it. So I have a metabolic meltdown program. It is a membership. It's a monthly membership. It's a 3-month membership. But I just want to go ahead and plug myself and put that out there. But it helps definitely menopausal women stay active and prevent joint pain and stiffness. And there's many types of programs that I have in there, from 5 minutes all the way up to an hour. So it really depends on you and your time. Anything can fit in. There's bone strengthening exercises, so you definitely want to focus on programs that are focused on weight training, and especially heavy weight training. That's really important. Maybe a few elements of HIIT, high intensity interval training, but not a lot, and not anything that's absolutely over the top. Or too difficult to do. It's still very low impact, but does not mean easy. It just has to have a lot of value for the amount of time that you're putting in. So anything that you do to your muscles to increase your muscle density, you're also going to be increasing the density of your bones, of course, which is going to reduce your risk of osteoporosis. The other thing is nutrition coaching. I do not do nutrition coaching. I'm trained to do it, but there's specifically a way that you should be eating when you're a woman going through perimenopause or menopause, and you want to make sure that you are maximizing your nutrition. And it's almost like you want to front load. I always call it front loading your day, and making sure you're getting all the nutrients in to help make sure that you are getting in the types of nutrition that are going to help you with your bone density, and your fiber intake, which is going to help you stay regular, and help keep your mood in a place where you're not feeling like you're all over the place. So nutrition is certainly a very important component, especially as you're starting to approach perimenopause as well as menopause. Short workout programs are absolutely effective. There are effective programs that you can do in 10 to 15 minutes, and at best 20. And like I said, my metabolic meltdown, it starts with 5 minutes. There's a couple of 5-minute videos in my membership, and there's also as much as an hour. So it just really depends on you and your time and what you can fit into your life and what the time that you're willing to make. But there's just all spectrums of time that you can put in. Because if you have the time, why not put it in? And that's still certainly beneficial. This is actually one of my clients. Personalized fitness plans also can be absolutely beneficial because it considers your individual needs. So if I'm an exercise physiologist, and I can certainly do that for you, but if you have an injury like knee injury, or you're dealing with chronic pain somewhere, or you get tennis elbow easily, or you're trying to recover from that, or you have shoulder issues, or you've had surgery or something like that, you don't want to avoid certain exercises. You actually need to make sure that you're still getting those in, but you want to make sure that it's effective enough that you are not putting yourself in more pain or danger, but you're also able to do movements that are going to consider your longevity and your injury or your surgery or whatever it is that you're currently going through. So I think personalized fitness plans are amazing, and it's a great idea. Mind-body practices, because we're already stressed, mind-body practices, and most people, when you first say that, they think of yoga, but that's not all there is. There's also walks that you can do. Like you can just go for a nature walk, or you can ride your bike. I love to ride my bike out in nature. Meditation certainly comes to mind as well. Whatever sort of works for you and helps going to reduce your stress and improve your overall well-being, and just kind of helps you have a good outlook on life. Support groups are always very helpful. I think if you can find a support group that's not going to suck you dry of your momentum, of your forward momentum, then it's certainly important for you to be able to participate in one that's going to be helpful, and not anything like a book club, or it's going to require you to do more sitting around. That's kind defeats the purpose. But one that's going to help you want to stay active or want to move around, and do things to be more active, to want to be more active. So I think it's really important that you find one that's going to help you feel like you're part of the community, and it's going to give you that motivation that you need towards health and wellness. So thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end of this video, so I can share my thoughts with you, and I really appreciate it. Take care.